Do you agree with this?
Vibe check on Palantir because they're making news this week. Deals $480 million contract with the DoD. You still a fan?
It's the Messi of AI. To me, it's really one of probably the best pure play AI name out there. That thing got way oversold on earnings, and now as you see Carp and what the team's doing, they're just executing brick by brick. I think it continues to be probably the most underestimated AI play, maybe tech play in the market today.
Now, we've already heard Dan Ives' views on Palantir many times before, being the golden child of AI, the Messi of AI, and even being underestimated. But right off the bat, he says he thinks market overreacted to Palantir's earnings and oversold. But when talking about the business itself, he focuses on management continuing to show their efforts to build up Palantir brick by brick, fundamentally at least, like we've seen with the recent huge deal. Now, everyone's got their own opinion on what Palantir should be worth, from $0 to $1 trillion, and obviously timelines play a major role. But Palantir hovering around the low 20s after making efforts towards the mid to high 20s around earnings, but ultimately tumbling down spooked out at least a lot of shorter term investors, at least anecdotally from what I'm seeing buzzing around. Now, honestly, for the longer term holders, especially for those scooping up below 10 back in the 2022s and early teens, it still feels like a really privileged place to be here holding above $20 and not just bungee back forth down into the teens too deeply. So obviously things can always change, but that's where we are now. You could see some folks who either bought during the euphoria of the low interest rates a few years back, or even more recently in the high 20s with renewed interest, who almost seem to sour in the stock immediately with the short-term movements. So I think we're at a really interesting point where we've got this mixed bag of people who literally see $20 as amazing, and I'm kind of in that boat, seeing a company bringing in a few $1 billion in revenue, slightly profitable, and now being valued in the mid $40 billion range. While some may see and think this is low for the stock, which depending on your expectations for growth, and if those start to show, believe Palantir should be even higher valuation to grow into. But I still like to focus on the business itself fundamentally trying to grow, and the market will value them as they please. So prompted by Dan Ives' comments recently, he thinks it's oversold and his price target of $35 is well known and below where we are today. So I'm curious to know your thoughts below where you stand on this, and I'll see you in the next video.